going, guys? Hope your day is going good. Today we've got Axys maintenance. I got a really easy one for you, so let's get right into it. So today we're going to be working on the chain case on my sled here. It's a 2017 Polaris Axys. It came with the 155 and 3-inch track. That means it has a chain case in here instead of the quick drive, which is what the 2.6 track came with. Now, checking your chain tension is pretty important. You want to at least check it once a month. Reason being, it could potentially lead to costly repairs, which is unfortunately what happened to a friend of mine last year when his chain case blew out the side. So first up, we got to get both side panels off. So next up, we're going to get all the tension out of the chain. So how we're going to do that is simply by turning the secondary clutch counterclockwise and then holding the brake so that it locks everything in place. So before we set the tension on here, we're going to do our oil change first. And so for that, go ahead and put your oil drain pan underneath, directly underneath the chain case. And as for tools, you're going to need a 1/4 inch drive ratchet and a 10mm, a 6mm Allen head with an extension. So go ahead and take this little clip off right here, just makes things a little bit easier to get to, as well as this clip right here, and then there's one behind this panel that holds this panel on that we're going to want to take off as well. Alright, now with both of those removed, it gives us a lot more room to work with in here. So you're going to want to loosen up, do not take them out. These 4 bolts right here. The reason we're using a 1/4 inch drive ratchet is the one down here is a little bit hard to get to with a 3/8, so using this smaller drive like this helps a lot. And like I said, just loosen them up a few turns, don't take them all the way out. What that's going to do is that's going to allow the cover to pull out just a little bit to where it opens up at the bottom for all the fluid to drain out. And so this is where you're going to need to be very careful. What I've been using is a flathead screwdriver, and this tab right here, if it doesn't move a little bit, at least about that much, then you need to loosen up your bolts just a little bit more so that you can get enough for the fluid to drain out the bottom. Now what I do is I keep the flathead screwdriver in that lower tab just to keep it pried out just a little bit to where it continues to drain. And then obviously you'll start to see fluid start to drain out underneath the chain case, as well as down below. Next up, go ahead and grab your Allen head with extension. And this hole right here is where the fill plug is. And then when you pull that fill plug out, you're gonna notice a lot of metal shavings. That's been pretty typical for me. I don't know if that's pretty typical for everyone else, but with the chain wearing, I have about 1,000 miles on mine. It's been pretty normal ever since I bought the sled. It's better that it's on the magnet of the fill plug. That means that magnet is doing its job and catching all the little metal shavings. Alright, now that we got all the fluid drained out, I forgot to hit the record button, but I already tightened up all our bolts. But we're going to go ahead and tighten up all 4 of our bolts. Alright, and to refill it, we're going to use Polaris Snowmobile Chain Case lubricant. To do it, I've been using one of these small pumps from O'Reilly's or AutoZone. They're pretty cheap, I believe under 10 bucks. We're just going to insert it in, and how that you know that the fluid level is where it needs to be is it'll come up to the thread line and actually start to overfill. So just go slowly and you'll know when it comes up. Alright, it's going to be pretty hard to see on camera, but you'll know when you have the correct fluid level because you'll see blue on the threads. Now that we got our drain plug all cleaned up, let's get it reinstalled. Alright, we're all good to go. Okay, so our last step is going to be setting the chain tension. So we're going to need a 15mm wrench for the jam nut and about a 14mm for the bolt. Okay, so all we're going to do is loosen up the jam nut. You still want to be able to hold on to the bolt. Alright, and all you're simply going to do is turn this bolt by hand as far as you can until you can't turn it anymore, and then you're going to back it off 1/4 of a turn. Alright, and that's going to do it for mine. Now we're going to take our 14mm wrench and back it off 1/4 of a turn. And just like that, we're all done. We just need to tighten it up. We're going to use the 14mm to hold the bolt in place and the 15mm to tighten up our jam nut. Alright, and just like that, we're all done. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I'm going to get this thing put back together. If you're stopping in for the first time, please consider subscribing. We got a lot of snowmobile content coming this winter. If you're a truck guy, I got a lot of diesel content as well. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Yeah.